Okay. Well, hello. This is the first session and the only session of sales training for Salesforce with Groupon. Philip, what we'll do is we'll run through quickly what's on the homepage, and we'll show you the components associated to that, and then we'll run through a number of different tabs to give you an overview. Along the way we'll actually talk about the workflow processes that are attached to each of the sections, so you get an idea about not only what fields and information to put into Salesforce, but how it actually attaches to the workflow processes that are involved with Groupon.
Okay.
Alrighty, up the top, when you log in for the first time, obviously you've logged in already, but using your email, obviously click on the link and that will take you through to set your own password. And this is more for the benefit of everyone else that sees this video a bit later on. And you're able to obviously set your password, which needs to be a minimum of 8 characters for both alpha and numeric. When you log in for the first time, you'll come into the home page tab. That home page tab's got a number of elements, a couple of which you may not see in your screen, but the dashboard may look different to your screen. Basically all you need to do is go into the customize page link on the right hand side there. That will take you through to a drop down menu for dashboards, and if you scroll to the bottom of that list you can find a dashboard that's relevant to your city. So in your case,
mine seems to be already set up.
Yep, excellent. Choose the right one, click Save, and that will bring you to the relevant spot there. Telesales meetings set by now. We have a number of different dashboards. This one is actually specifically for telesales, and they actually track meetings that are set by their salespeople, as opposed, and also includes deals successful as well. Down below, actually I should say on the left hand side, you've got a running tally of how many deals have been approved this week so far, but each of those reports you can actually click on and that'll take you through to the back end of a report where you can actually view the more detailed information about which opportunities these are associated with. And if you wanted to go in even further and look at the actual opportunity, you can go in and take a closer look at that as well. Top right hand corner.
That shows all the activity on that account.
This will show what's occurred and what activity may have been logged, but we'll come back to that. Essentially you'll be looking at log a call, new task, new event to add in the activity for an opportunity, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So rolling back to the home screen, down below that you've got calendar, which will show you events or meetings that have been set up, and likewise underneath that tasks, which will show up underneath that. Now you'll see here that you've got 3 different types of tasks, subject information that's been put up. The standard descriptors, we'll get that right in a sec. The standard descriptors of call, meeting, etc. should be extended to show about 60 characters of text. What the task is, who you need to speak to, and what's the nature of the call or the task that needs to be performed. It actually saves going right into the task to look at the comments of the task, and we'll show you that a bit later when we get into the opportunity screen. Alrighty, left hand side, recent items. You'll find that this is a nice easy area to flip back and forth between what you've been into in the last day, or 24 hours, or however many you actually get up in that list. Secondly, the search screen on the left hand side, which allows you to search for anything and everything which is held in the database. So when we look at things like searching for existing businesses where you want to create a lead, so leads are actually given to a salesperson in one of two ways. Firstly, leads that are generated by a research team can be allocated directly to a salesperson as accounts, and they'll appear in the accounts tab. Or secondly, leads can be generated by a salesperson where they'll actually create a lead in the leads tab first. That lead will then be assessed and qualified by research, and once it's assessed and qualified by research, it will be given a lead quality rating, and it will be converted to an account and assigned to you in most circumstances, and we'll talk about the exceptions to those circumstances in a sec. But first port of call is if you've been out to an appointment with a business, you've picked up a few business cards, doing sandwich calls either side of that business, and you want to come back and put those leads into the system before you do any real work on them. You'll put the name, obviously, into the search toolbox and say we're looking for Tokyo Sushi Bar. You can choose one or two of the most unique words for that. Excuse me, for that. And if nothing comes up, you may restrict it down to maybe one of the most unique words in the phrase, just to open it up a little more. Try taking it away and pressing it again. And obviously that will bring up everything associated or anything that includes the word Tokyo. And as you can see, we don't have anything there that matches that name. But if you did, you could then drill in and go down further and take a look at who it's assigned to. If we were to click into Tokyo Season, you can obviously see what work's been done on that account, who the opportunity owner is, and if you want to double check who the account owner is, you can click on the account name in the top right hand corner, and that'll tell you who the account owner is. If it's a business that is many businesses, and in this case it's only one, but if we're looking at, let's have a look at D&D. So if we go into D&D London, for example, and we're looking at a chain there of 19 stores, we can also click on the View Hierarchy button, and that will drill down and show us what businesses are actually connected to the head office. Yep. So going back, if we want to create a new lead, we can go into the Leads tab, click on New, and then we have to fill in the relevant fields. So in this case, anything that is red and then some. So we'll work through the different fields now. First name, last name. Sometimes you may not have the contact name, so you might just put manager, but if you have the full name, even better. Company name. Get my spelling right. And remember, using upper and lower case, we don't want all capitals, we don't want all lowercase.
Does that affect when you're searching?
Doesn't affect.
Something is in capitals.
No, it doesn't affect it when you're searching. It just looks bad.
Yeah.
So, from the purposes of making all the information in the database consistent and easy to read, use upper and lower case. So it's more of a convention for easy reading rather than searching issues. Phone number. Yep. Industry. Need to choose the appropriate industry, and in this case we'd be looking at wellness. We'd be looking at hairdresser. But then you can also choose additional properties in a lot of cases to specify what products and services they may offer. So even though they may be a hairdresser, they may also have a beauty section of their business. They may also have a...
does this work as like a keyword search, like anything like Google or anything like that?
No, industry categories actually are more to do with reporting and also identifying and filtering for certain industry verticals that you may want to have a look at, whether that be in your own leads, in your own portfolio, or whether that be from a management perspective, looking for all businesses within our database that matches a certain criteria. Yeah. So this helps the business to be able to categorize and find all of the different types of businesses that it may need to target at different times. Yep. Once you've chosen the appropriate services that the business offers in the additional properties area, we can then move down to, we've got a new field there which I'll need to find out what that one is. Sometimes you'll see a field pop up in certain screens which has been placed in by Germany, and you can disregard those until they're translated. Area, first 3 letters of postcode, so do that again in uppercase as you would do with any postcode. City to feature deal in, obviously UK, and the main city that the deal is to be featured in, so in your case Manchester. Yeah. Are you based out of Manchester?
I live in Manchester, but I'm actually going to be working in the Liverpool area.
Oh, okay. Okay. So,
yep,
in your case, Liverpool. But if it is a multi-city deal or an all-city deal or an e-commerce business, you've got 2 other options: all cities, and if it's e-commerce web-based, e-commerce. And further down, if it's more than 1 store, numeric values. So if it's 2 or more stores, you put a numeric value in there. Website is obviously mandatory, so you need to put in the full website. And moving down, street address details, so full address. Country, UK, uppercase, just the U and the K. And last but not least, location. City centre will be probably most of the times, but you've got a couple of other options there. And assign using active assignment rule. Do not check that, just leave that unchecked. We're about to remove it shortly, so it won't be there anyway, but in the meantime, just to let you know not to do anything with it. That's it. Once that's done, and you've filled in all of those fields, the only other field that you may need to add some extra information in is the remark field. The remark field is used to specify where maybe a lead might not reach the minimum quality criteria. So lead quality, which is this one here, it's greyed out. That is determined by the research team. They'll give it a rating of 1, 6, 8 or 10. A level 1 quality lead means that it won't be passed back to you, it's too low a quality. So that's one of the exceptions where you will not receive a lead back that you may have put forward. Second one is where it might be a level 10, and a level 10 lead is generally categorized as a premium quality lead, and that may be reserved for the premium team members here in London. And that's, you're talking difference between a 6, 8 and 10. Level 6 is obviously the bare minimum. So you're talking about a business that has at least got a website. They're in a reasonably good location. They are in they've got reasonable feedback from one of their for their business. So we could actually
generate a lead that might not be passed back to us if it was a 10.
Correct. It's possible.
Okay.
if the head office is based in London, if the head office is already being dealt with by one of the premium sales reps in the office, if the lead is seen as, even if the head office is based in your area, it is possible that the lead may be passed back to your regional sales manager rather than you, and then it'll be your regional sales manager's choice as to how he might handle it, whether he handles it with you or whether he handballs it back to you. Okay. So they're the only exceptions. So generally speaking, anything that's categorized as a 6 or an 8, which would be probably 80% of the database, would be handballed back to the rep that creates the lead, or 80% of the circumstance, 80% of the time. The remark field, if the lead doesn't quite reach maybe one of the certain lead quality areas, it may be passed back to you. So you might want to add in some remark there to specify why it might not reach a lead level 6. For example, you don't have the website yet, or the website's not active, brand new business for example, but you know the website's going to become active in 2 weeks. You might want to add in a comment there to that effect, because if research check that website and say, nope, sorry, couldn't get into the website, or it's not active yet, it could be classified as too low quality. Yep. Once that's done, click Save, and that'll come into the summary screen of what you've just done. Obviously you can go in and edit that. If you come back into the lead screen at any time, you can obviously go to My Leads. Interesting. Okay, generally speaking, there would be a leads view which would say My Leads in this list here. Someone's actually deleted the default view for My Leads, but I will whack that back in after I've finished this training session. So when you come into this drop-down menu, you will see a list here, or a option here that says My Leads. You just click on that and that'll bring up the leads that you've created until such time as they're qualified and converted and go into your account screen, and then they'll disappear. Let's go into the account screen. Did you have any questions at the end of that section?
No.
No? Excellent. All right. So
do you have any what, sorry?
Any questions at the end of that?
Oh yeah, sorry, you broke up then. No, I'm fine. Up here.
Excellent. All right. Let's move on to the account screen tab. We'll take a quick look at what's in there. My Accounts is a default view, so when you click on your Accounts tab, you obviously have a drop down there. You can click on My Accounts, and there's a few different views there which we shouldn't be seeing, which we'll have to fix up. And clicking on My Accounts will then bring up a list of all the accounts which are currently assigned to you. Down the bottom you'll see a number that will tell you how many accounts that you've got assigned. You can obviously adjust the amount of records that you view on each page. Would recommend either 100 or less. You go to 200 and it takes a long time for the page to load.
So for instance, Maria sent me about 20 odd accounts at the moment.
Yep.
And they're all assigned to me. So I don't actually need to go into those emails to go straight through to Salesforce, do I? I can just go into my accounts and everything will be on there.
Well, you need to log into your Salesforce account first, which sounds like you've already done. Once you log into Salesforce, just click on the Accounts tab and go into My Accounts, and that'll bring up the accounts that are assigned to you.
Okay.
All right. So you'll have a number of different columns of information there. You can filter by those, or rather sort by those, by clicking on the top of the column. Last activity is one that's probably looked at quite regularly, and the ones that don't have any activity date on there usually mean that nothing has actually taken place on those as yet. So they're usually new ones that have been assigned to you. Also, you can cross-check that against the last modified date, and the last modified date will tell you who actually actioned something on that account last. All right. Going into that, you can actually click on the account name, and that'll take you through to the account record. And as you can see everything from who the account owner is through to the lead quality. Moving down, we've got an exclusivity section, which is used later on in the process, which we'll come back to in a sec. Industry detail information. Opportunities. Opportunities section is where you will do most of your work from. So 9 times out of 10, you will have an opportunity that's already created. Click on the existing opportunity, and you can continue on from where maybe the last person has left off, or from the start research phase of where it begins. So in the stage setting, if we open that up, you'll have a drop-down box, and obviously an opportunity would start at start research, first contact, and you'd work through the stages. Differences that we have within MyCity Deal is we've got a deal successful pending stage, and we've got a deal successful approved stage. We've also got 2 no deal choices if the opportunity ends in a no deal status. First one is quality less than 6 or do not call. What does that mean? Quality less than 6 means that even though
no website or
but even though the account may have been qualified as a 6, maybe you've gone out to visit them, or you know of the place personally, and you definitely don't think it's a great place, or even a good place for that matter, and you think that a deal with them's not going to do well, and obviously you don't think that subscribers are going to be interested in it. You'd close it off as quality less than 6, and send a message to research to re-qualify it as a level 1. Likewise, callback possible means that the business, it just hasn't worked out in the sales process for you in this particular instance. Maybe you've spoken to the wrong person, you haven't been able to get through the right person, and there's a number of different reasons. So if you do choose a no deal, you do need to choose a reason, and that reason needs to come from one of the lists down below.
Okay.
Alright, and likewise with the quality less than 6, sorry, change that again. You'll have a different list, but you also need to choose one of those. Alrighty, so as you work through the stages, you will obviously log your information of what's gone on within an account using log call, new task, or new event. So if you've made a phone call, you want to log the information on the opportunity, click on log a call. Hopefully this will come up. There we go. And put a short sentence in there as to what actually occurred. So in this case, you might say, call, owner Steve, made appointment to see him on 24th of the 6th at 9 AM. Yeah. That will then appear in the subject line. If you want to put some longer comments in, whack them down in the comments box. It can also be attached to a contact in that account, so you can do a search for that and just click on the name lookup button there. Likewise down below, you can also set up a new task in the same box. So once that's done, you can then come down the bottom and say, and in this case we're actually making an appointment, so we won't actually create a new task. We just need to change that to completed. Yeah. And click on save. Now, if we come back to that screen, I've cancelled that because I don't want to create a record on a live customer, but you can see there that that information would show up in the subject line and make it a bit easier to read, and you get a chronological history of all the events that have actually taken place with a nice short sentence. Makes it easier to keep track of the history for the account. New task, new event. If you're going to create a meeting, you want to use a new event.
Yep. You know, we can send an email.
Sorry?
At the top, so log a call, mail merge, send an email.
Yes.
Does, when you actually, this is all very similar to a system that I used to use, and when you clicked send an email, it actually dragged it from your emails and attached the email to it. Is that the case here, or it is?
Not yet.
If you did send an email, it would actually...
Yeah, not yet. We actually don't have templates set up in the send an email function, but I will show you that quickly and briefly. Those templates will be coming, and hopefully we'll be able to get something set up there in the next couple of weeks. We've now got some extra resource here, so we'll be able to get some of those things that have been sitting on the want-to-do list for quite a few weeks now up and running, which will help out a bit more. But in the events screen, basically it will obviously come up assigned to you automatically, subject field again, meeting with owner Paul, and a nice short sentence, what the meeting is going to be about, who you're meeting, etc. You can also attach that to an existing contact, which might be on the account screen, so you can again do a search. And start date, finish date, start time, finish time, location details, put in the address of where you need to go. Description, same as comments box, just add in some more comments, and a reminder time, and you can obviously set that hours in advance, days or even weeks in advance. And the add invitees box down the bottom means that you can also invite other people along to the meeting, and that may be, for example, your regional sales manager or someone else. Yep. Once you've filled that in, click save, and that would then be set up. Now, what actually occurs is when you, if we can, wrong button. Thank you. Okay. What actually happens is you'll get a pop-up when the meeting or task falls due, and that'll give you some text there to let you know what you need to do and when you need to do it. And it looks like this one's a little bit overdue for Andrew, so I might need to ask him why he hasn't actioned that one yet.
Okay.
But once you've completed that, you can obviously go in to the individual by clicking on the actual task item or event, and or dismiss it from the box on the left there. Alrighty, moving ahead. So you've got to the end of the sales process. You've got a signed contract, and you've got the written signed contract sitting in front of you. You'll come into the opportunity. You'll change the stage to deal successful pending. Click OK. And on the right hand side, you need to change the close date to today's date. Oops, change it again. There we go. And click save. We won't do that, but once you've done that, you can then click on new contract. Now, clicking on new contract will open up your contract screen where you can fill in all of the associated details. Account name and opportunity name will be pre-filled, so you won't need to do anything there. Point of contact is the name of the person that is signing off on the contract, so the manager or owner that you're dealing with. Moving down, status, leave that as is. Customer sign date generally would be today's date, and that's just a pop-up calendar, so again just click on the appropriate date. Exclusivity in months, 24 months is what our customers are contracted to be exclusive to us for, and if they have an existing contract with a customer at the moment, with a competitor, so maybe KGB or Daily Deals or who else we got, Groupola, then you need to put in some information if you know of any contract or existing contract that they have with any of the competitors. CD point of contact, be yourself, so just whack in your name there. That field has probably come a little bit unneeded, but so it is duplicated. Obviously your name will appear at the top there, but we do double up in that case anyway. Do not publish until, if the business partner says no, I don't want this deal to go live before the 15th of July.
Right, okay.
Whack the date into that field.
And then it'll be scheduled after that.
Yep. Original price, 20. City deal price might be 5, so you're talking a 75% discount. MCD commission percentage generally is 30%, and need to put the percent symbol in there. Can go down to 2 decimal places if needed, if the commission percentage is different. Validity of voucher in months is generally 3. More is better. The best time frame is probably up to 6 months. Anything beyond that isn't quite as good. So it sort of goes in a hill type graph, being the lower part as you start, being 1 month, not as good. 2 months a little bit better. 3 months is 3 to 6 months is perfect, and beyond 6 months starts to go downhill again.
Same, most of the ones I've seen have been 2 months.
Sorry?
When I check them, when I check them on a daily basis, the ones that have been coming through to me, all been kind of roughly around about 2 months. 2
months?
Yeah.
Okay. Generally you'll find 3, but if you've been seeing a few at 2, that's probably a bit lower than normal.
Okay.
Yeah. Description, just the terms of the deal. So again, you might restate the price. It might be cut, wash and blow dry, £20 for £5. Yep. That's probably a little on the low side. Most of the hair package deals that we put through might have a retail value of anywhere from £40 up to £90. Yep. And then we move across to the restrictions. So the restrictions, numerical based, you basically just choose the appropriate ones. And I've got a couple of more fields there to translate by the looks of it, so I better get them translated. Time of day limitations and further restrictions, probably self-explanatory. And comment for approval. Now, if the deal doesn't look like it's meeting the minimum standards for a MyCity deal, you may need to put some justification in there as to why.
Okay.
Okay. Moving down, days, automatically 7 days. Anything less than 7 days is obviously a negative. Partner will send pictures, partner will send text, only if they want to provide some text or pictures for the deal that's put together. Partner requires,
that anyway.
Generally we put it all together, and we'll obviously take some photos either from their website, or we'll find some photos that are of a high quality. Partner requires deal preview. That is unchecked and can't be checked by a salesperson. Generally speaking, we won't give a deal preview to a business partner, so it's something that I wouldn't raise during the sales process. 95 times out of 100 you probably won't get asked about it, and the other 5% you probably just want to say, well, it's not something that we do. As you can see by the quality of the deals that we put together, they work extremely well, and all of our...
I suppose if they supplied the information as well, then there's nothing more going to go into that, is there?
Well, it just, unfortunately, it slows down the process. If we supply proof, then there's usually there's usually discussion going backwards and forwards about why we've done this or why we've done that. and 9 times out of 10 the deal preview will probably stay the same and it won't be changed for 9 times out of 10, but that 9 times out of 10 where you have to spend the time explaining why something should stay that way obviously makes the process for after sales 10 times longer.
Of course, yeah.
Yep. Down the bottom, address details. Now the address details will be pulled in from the account screen, but if they're missing, we might need to add some details into the original account screen before you create a contract. If not, you can add them in manually here. And last but not least, email address. We need an email address of the person that signed the contract or someone that can act on behalf of the person that has signed the contract for any questions, requests and or anything to do with the contract going live.
Okay.
Once you're done, click Save. That'll take you to a general overview of what you've just created, and you'll be able to edit those fields once you've done that. If you are happy with that, up the top of the screen you'll see a Submit for Approval button, and if you click on that Submit for Approval button you'll get a pop-up. Just click OK to that pop-up and that'll send the contract onto the workflow process, which will send it to the first level managers for approval. And once they've approved it or rejected it, it will then go up to the second level managers, being the COO or the CEO, for second level approval. Okay. Once it's been approved at second level, an automated email will be sent out, and that'll tell you that the deal's been approved, and it will automatically change the stage of the opportunity to deal successful, approved. And that will then show up in the home screen on the reporting side to show you that it's a deal successful, approved.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, let's just whiz back to the account screen. We'll take a quick look at the exclusivity fields. Now, exclusivity will have some changes over the coming weeks, but where a business partner breaches the exclusivity contract and puts a deal up with a competitor, competitor sites are being monitored, and you will actually be spoken to by one of the city managers or the city manager that deals with you.
Do they have to sign an exclusivity deal?
Yes. It's a part of the terms and conditions of a standard contract.
And that's for 24 months?
Correct.
Right, okay.
So it's not a separate contract, it's not a separate signature, it's just a part of the terms and conditions which is on the back of a standard contract.
Okay, but I guess if a lot of certain people that you're approaching anyway hasn't heard of these sorts of deals, or aren't aware of that these sorts of deals goes on, it's not of any great.
They're not going to care. You will get some people questioning. Yeah, you will get some business partners questioning the use of maybe other businesses like Top Table, for example. Top Table doesn't operate under the same business model as MyCityDeal,
right.
So we don't care about that. What we're talking about are the other competitors which operate under the same business model as MyCityDeal Groupon or Groupon MyCityDeal. So you're talking about the likes of KGB, Groupola, just to name two.
Deals. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So anything else in regards to Top Table, we're not concerned about. Obviously, Top Table is used quite heavily by some businesses, but there are obviously a lot more benefit, or there is a lot more benefit in using Groupon as opposed to even Top Table, simply because of the fact that it's a once-off deal that's actually advertised, and obviously we do sell a lot of tickets for it. It does mean that that customer can only use that ticket once, as opposed to top table, where the same customer can come back time and time and time again, still getting the same 50 or 60% off. And from that perspective, the business really isn't making any money out of those customers. Whereas Groupon, it means that that customer, if they come back a second or third time, they're paying full price, and they're doing it because they love the place that they're going to, not just because they're receiving a discount.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, moving down. Opportunities we've looked at. Activity history is also restated on that screen. As you can see there with contracts, if a contract was created, you'd see it appear there. Notes and attachments, again, you can obviously create large notes, and both on the opportunity screen, but you would not do it on the account screen. The account screen and the buttons associated here with accounts are generally only used by the after sales team.
Okay.
Alrighty, now that's probably about it for the account screen. Opportunity screen is only a little bit different, and you do have, again, a My Opportunities tab, which will bring up all the opportunities which are associated to you. So you can obviously choose to work from either the account screen or the opportunity screen. There will be slight differences.
So there's no massive difference between them.
Well, there's no massive difference, but there is a there are small differences, and that is you may possibly receive an account which does not have an opportunity created yet. And if it doesn't have an opportunity created yet, then it's not going to show up in your opportunities tab.
Not going to show.
Yeah.
So you'd suggest to use accounts?
No, I'd suggest don't rely on one or the other.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Because even in the accounts screen, it is possible, but it's even rarer, that an opportunity might get accidentally assigned to you, but the account may not.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty rare. That's pretty rare. But what I do suggest is don't take either screen for granted, but use both.
Okay.
All right. Last but not last, almost getting to the end, the Activities tab. The Activities tab will allow you to look at and manage all of the activities, so log, call, task, new event, for everything that you have done. So if we look at my tasks this week, for example, that will show you any tasks if you had to, if we had some created for Andrew, would show up there. And my events this week, managers can use things like my team activities, etc. You can look at all your open tasks, and if we were to look at open tasks, he's got 4 open tasks at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Documents tab has a number of different folders created. There's a training folder which has got a training guide in there. You've also got a contact information folder with a contact list and an Excel spreadsheet. Those two are out of date, but hopefully we'll get those updated in the next couple of weeks now that we've got some more resource here. Likewise, there's a folder generally for each city. So if you're looking for example, let's go back, Liverpool, and we're looking for copies of some past deals, and these are all images. So you can sort of click on anything that might look similar to what you're looking for, and you can view the file, and that'll show you a graphic image. Slowly.
Right, okay, yeah.
And we'll close that because it's taking a while, but it'll show you a graphic image of the deal that's actually taken place. So you can use those, print them off, etc., etc. Now, going back to the workflow for one moment, just in respect to opportunities, one thing that I did forget to touch on, after the deal has been approved, and you've received the email notification to say that your deal has been approved at second level. Obviously your paper contract will either need to be scanned and sent in to after sales, or the paper contract itself either photographed and sent in as a digital file, or attached to the opportunity as an attachment. Yeah.
Yep.
More importantly, once that's done, the opportunity then moves into the onboarding process with after sales. So they'll actually take over then, and they'll send a welcome email to the business partner. And if it is an extremely good deal, it could go live within that same week. Deals that aren't quite as good will be put in the pile of deals to go live at some stage in the future. But bearing in mind from a sales perspective, obviously you want to create the best deals possible from the subscriber point of view to obviously generate the most ticket sales possible, and that will obviously be a determining internal factor for how soon the deal will actually go live.
Right.
Okay. Any questions after all that so far?
No.
Okay. All right. We've looked at documents. There's going to be a couple of new tabs which will come into play fairly shortly, My Target Partners and My Premium Partners, and those are to do with deals which where the contract has been categorized as a deal that is worthy of becoming a premium partner for My City Deal, and that's where we will then set up a media plan where the media plan will determine that a deal will go live X amount of times per year, up to 4.
Okay.
And you can then sit down.
Then, yeah?
That's right. You can then sit down with the premium partner and plan out where those deals will go live at certain weeks during the year.
Okay.
Now, some people are asking, well, what if they've got more than 2 or 3 contracts that have done well? It may mean that those 3 contracts will only one will be listed twice throughout a 12-month period. The other 2 may only be listed once throughout the 12-month period.
What if it's one business that's got quite a lot of services? Would they still only be featured 4 times in that year, or would it be that if a service runs really well, so let's say it was teeth whitening, then they'd run that deal 4 times a year, and then run something else that also works well 4 times a year?
Generally speaking, no.
It's just that one business only gets featured 4 times a year, no matter what deal it is.
As a rule,
we know it's a good deal.
As a rule of thumb at this point, yes.
Okay.
That may change, but that's the current standard that's being looked at. Doesn't mean that may not change, or it may not change for certain cities. There may be.
If a business had four different services that all run equally as well and outstanding, then it'd be silly to kind of limit that running through the 12 months. Yeah,
well, look, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Your business partner may say, well, hang on a sec, no, I want this deal to run 6, 8, 10 times during the year. I want it to run once a month. Well, the issue with running it once a month is that the impact of the deal and the exclusivity of the deal is substantially reduced, which means the ticket sales end up being a lot lower each time that it's run, and the novelty and incentive to buy it when it does come up soon wears off, because they know it's going to come up in the same time next month.
Yeah.
So
no, I understand that totally.
Yeah. So it's more important that you don't specify how many times the deal may be run when you're talking to a partner. That you say if the deal does go well, which I think it will, If it does go well, then there will be an opportunity to rerun that same deal several times throughout the year, or it will give us an opportunity to talk further and maybe readjust the deal slightly, so the next time that it does run, it will run a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of the decisions that are made in the business are made out of performance and variables and factors that can generally be measured. And if it means that we may come back to you and have a sit down and say, okay, well, look, the deal has done this, 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 and this. We think it will do better if we do this, this, and this, based on our experience with these types of deals before. So we may come back to you and talk about maybe rejigging the deal so the response is much higher for you next time. Or if it's done extremely well, it may be just a case of saying, excellent, this one's we don't think we can do any better with this one, so therefore we'd love to reschedule it for a number of times throughout the year, but we'll come back and talk to you about that.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the My Target Partner screen, and I think that will do it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We don't currently have this screen set up, but fairly shortly the My Target Partner screen will actually show you My Target Partners that actually meet a certain criteria, and those will fill up the screen just like any other tab that you have there, from the account screen to the opportunity screen. But what it means is the top 15 or 20 customers that might be in your pipeline will potentially appear in that screen, and will give you another screen to work from. And at the moment the guys in London are focusing on their top 15 to 20 accounts to look at getting those signed up to media plans as target partners.
So they're people that have already run?
Generally speaking, they are people that have already run, so 90% of the time they would be deals that have already gone live. But
and
it may
basically put them on there for me to concentrate on.
That's right, but it may possibly or potentially be a high-level customer that's yet to even sign a contract with us, but maybe the lead quality is being classified as a level 8 or a level 10.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Any questions at all about what we've gone over so far?
No, I'm going to have I'll have a scoot round after and start looking at things that have been assigned to me anyway. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Well, look, last but not least, we'll just go into and show you how to clear or change the ownership of an account that you have. And if you go into the account screen or the accounts tab, go into the account itself. Up the top you've got account owner. The ownership of an account can be changed by just clicking on the change link. Type in the name of the new owner that you want it to go to. Do a lookup and just click on the name. Alternatively,
when am I kind of like authorized to do it? Do you know, because I could be changing anybody else. If it's, who does that?
Okay, you can transfer an account. You can transfer an account that you own to somebody else, or to the no deal, or to the no deal bucket.
Right.
But,
okay.
But you cannot.
You
cannot change the ownership of an account that's owned by somebody else.
Right.
And likewise, nobody else can change the ownership of an account that's owned by you, except for your city manager or your regional sales manager.
A bit worrying there.
Yeah, or a system administrator.
Okay.
Okay, so you're only talking about probably 3 system administrators in the company, 4 system administrators in the UK that can do that, and your regional sales manager, your direct regional sales manager, or your direct city manager. Okay. No deal. If you have a need to clear your pipeline and change the ownership of an account to the no deal bucket, again you've got no deal callback possible and no deal quality too low, and you can choose one of those and change the ownership. You want to click the first checkbox and just click save.
Okay.
Alright. That's it.
Yep.
For now. There are obviously a couple of areas in the system which can go into further training, but you can also find additional training on certain areas within the help and training function up the top there, and just do a search for training in the relevant part. One of those parts might be, for example, reporting. And there is a reporting tab that you can put on your screen as well. If you click in the right hand side here on the plus button and click on Customize My Tabs, you can also add additional tabs into your view, and reports is one, and you can click Save, and that tab would then appear up in the top of your screen. Okay.
Okay.
We'll leave it there. Any questions, feel free to give me a call.
Of course, yeah.
And
well, thanks for your time.
enjoy yourself and have some fun.
Okay.
No worries.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for your time. And
Thank you.
like I say, if there's anything, I'll give you a call.
Yeah, no
Brilliant.
worries.
Thanks, Sean.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.